Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free French ebook before it's gone.
Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Ingrid. Connaissez-vous la galette des rois? C'est un gâteau composé généralement de pâte feuilletée. Les Français dégustent ce dessert le 6 janvier car ils célèbrent l'Épiphanie. Malgré tout, ce jour n'est pas férié. Dans cette leçon, nous allons découvrir ce qu'est l'Épiphanie et comment elle est fêtée en France. Savez-vous quelle est la particularité de la galette des rois destinée au président de la République française? Nous allons vous montrer la réponse à la fin de cette vidéo. Le mot épiphanie est d'origine grecque et signifie apparition. Pour les Grecs, les épiphanes sont des dieux qui se rendent visibles face aux hommes. Le 6 janvier, on célèbre ainsi les dieux grecs, d'où le mot épiphanie. Plus tard, cette fête sera christianisée. Chez les chrétiens, l'épiphanie célèbre la rencontre de 3 rois mages, Gaspard, Melchior et Balthazar, avec le Fils de Dieu, Jésus. C'est pour cela que les Français utilisent l'expression « tirer les rois » et manger une galette des rois lorsqu'ils dégustent ce dessert. Il existe différentes sortes de galettes des rois en France. Dans le nord de la France, c'est un gâteau en pâte feuilletée. On peut le manger avec de la confiture ou la fourrer avec de la frangipane, du chocolat ou des fruits également. Dans le sud de la France, c'est une brioche aux fruits confits et en forme de couronne. La galette la plus célèbre et la plus vendue en France est celle en pâte feuilletée, fourrée à la frangipane. La particularité de la galette des rois est qu'elle contient une fève, une petite figurine. Il en existe de toutes sortes. Chaque année, des boulangeries proposent une série de fèves basées sur un même thème. Par exemple, il y a des figurines représentant une célébrité française. La fève est cachée dans la galette et celui qui l'obtient en mangeant sa part devient le roi de la journée. Traditionnellement, avant de la manger, l'enfant le plus jeune de la famille se cache sous la table et désigne à quelle personne doit être attribuée chaque part de la galette. Il existe en France des collectionneurs de fèves des galettes des rois. On les appelle les fabophiles. Ils cherchent des fèves rares dans des vides-greniers, des brocantes ou encore sur Internet. Certaines figurines peuvent même coûter jusqu'à 2 000 €. Et maintenant, je vais vous donner la réponse du quiz vu plus tôt. Les artisans pâtissiers confectionnent pour le président français une galette sans fèves afin qu'il ne puisse pas être couronné. Cette tradition date de 1975 lorsque fut offerte au président Valéry Giscard d'Estaing une galette géante d'1 mètre de diamètre. Comment était cette leçon? Avez-vous appris des choses intéressantes? Et vous, fêtez-vous l'épiphanie? Avez-vous déjà goûté une galette des rois? Laissez-nous un commentaire sur frenchpod101.com et à très bientôt!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is how to learn a language in 2022. If you're planning to learn a language in 2022, then this episode is for you, especially if you want to finally succeed with your New Year's resolution, instead of failing or giving up in the next week or two. That's why today you'll discover 1. The 4 critical steps you need to take when learning a new language, and 2. How to set goals and New Year's resolutions that won't fail you in 2022. But first, if you're looking for some free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Using Opposites Conversation Cheat Sheet. With this new cheat sheet, you'll learn common opposite adjectives like near and far, hot and cold, and grammar rules on how to use these words in a sentence. Second, the How to Say Goodbye PDF writing workbook. With this printable PDF, you'll pick up some common parting greetings and be able to practice writing them out. Third, can you talk about cars in your target language? Learn how to say words like tire, windshield, headlights, and more with this quick vocab bonus. Fourth, must know words and phrases for public transportation. Learn how to say ticket, bus, train, and much more with this quick 1-minute lesson. Fifth, the 10 habits of highly effective language learners. Wondering which habits will help you succeed with language learning? Then check out this free lesson. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. How to learn a language in 2022. Part 1. The 4 critical steps you need to take when learning a new language. Every time you start a new language, you should start with 1. Goals, 2. Anchor points, 3. Grammar, 4. Reading. What are these 4 steps, and why do you need them to succeed with language learning? Let's jump in. The first one is goals. Everything starts with a goal, but your goal itself can also lead you to failure if you don't set it the right way. So more specifically, you need to set small, measurable monthly goals instead of just, I want to learn a language and be fluent this year. We'll cover goals in the second part of this episode, so stay tuned. After goals, the second step is setting anchor points. What are anchor points? Imagine a small ship in the middle of a big lake. It's windy, lots of waves, and the ship is bobbing up and down, drifting all around. What would you use to stop the ship from drifting away? An anchor. And just like an anchor keeps the ship in place, anchor points keep you from drifting away from your language. So an anchor point is a connection to the language that keeps you attached to the language and motivated to learn the language. One great example is language school. Imagine you signed up and paid thousands of dollars up front. Paying that much would motivate you to make the most of your time there. It's also a big commitment, one that you can't easily back out of. And school dictates your schedule. You have to wake up early, you have to do homework. Your life revolves around the classes. And as such, language school and the language itself become anchor points that your life revolves around. Anchor points can also be family or a partner that speaks the language you're learning. You're around them, you're exposed to the language, so your motivation to learn gets a bit stronger. Buying a language learning program or textbook are also examples of good anchor points. You invested your hard-earned money, which means you're serious about learning. Plus, you want to make sure your investment doesn't go to waste, so you're more motivated. If you're wondering if you have any anchor points, you already have at least one. You're watching our lessons on YouTube, but the more anchor points you have, the stronger your motivation will be. So if you're into music or TV shows in your target language, those can serve as anchor points too. These are things that connect you to the language and add a bit of motivation to learn more, or at the very least, understand what you're watching or listening to. We covered goals and anchor points. What's next? The third step is you must have a good grasp of grammar of your native language. Now, you might wonder, if you're learning a new language, why focus on your native language? Well, as native speakers, the problem is we know what good grammar sounds like, but we can't explain how or why our language works the way it works. So if you don't have a good grasp of grammar, the backbone or the rules of a language, then you'll have a tough time learning a new language. You'll jump in and start learning words and phrases, but you'll never learn how to put them together and make sentences. That's a common problem beginners have. Now, if you already know the grammar of your native language, how do you apply that to your target language? For example, if you're an English speaker, and if you know that English sentences follow the subject, verb, object pattern, and if you know that languages have specific sentence patterns, then you'd go look at patterns. Then, you'd have a good idea of how to create your own sentences, instead of learning random words first. Finally, the fourth step is reading. Reading is good simply because you can do it anywhere, anytime, and without a teacher. It's a skill you can get started on day one, on your own. Reading also tends to spill over into other areas. The more you read, the more words and grammar rules you come across, so you boost your vocabulary and grammar, which can seep into speaking and listening. If you read out loud, you're practicing 2 skills at once. Now, we've covered what you need: goals, anchor points, reading, and grammar. Setting anchor points, knowing your own grammar, and reading are simple enough, but how do you set goals that don't lead you to failure? Part 2. How to set goals and New Year's resolutions that won't fail you in 2022. The goal that you set can make or break your language learning journey, so setting the right goals makes all the difference between success and failure. Just think about all of the common New Year's resolutions. What comes to mind? Goals like, I want to be fluent someday. I want to speak the language. I want to lose weight. I want to save more money. These big, vague goals often lead to failure because you simply have no idea how to approach the goal and you don't know what you're aiming for. Instead, your goals should be small, measurable, and monthly. For example, speak 1 minute of conversation by the end of the month. Learn 100 words by the end of the month. Finish Chapter 1 of your language textbook by the end of the month. If you're using our program, finish 20 audio lessons by the end of the month. All of these are small and specific. 1 minute, 100 words, 1 chapter, 20 audio lessons. This means that they're easy to reach, unlike something vague like fluency. They're also measurable. You know when you reach 1 minute. You can check if you know all 100 words or if you finished all 20 lessons. If you aim for fluency, you won't know when you hit it. It's too vague and too big of a goal, and it may take years to hit. Finally, all of these goals have a deadline, the end of the month. That would mean January 31st of this year. Deadlines give you a clear date to aim for, and without one, you'll forever be floating around without much progress. So set a deadline for the end of every month. So now that you know how to set small, measurable monthly goals, leave us a comment. What's your small, measurable monthly goal, and what's the deadline? So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Ingrid. Si vous connaissez notre histoire, vous devez savoir que la France est un État laïque. En 1905, une loi est créée afin de séparer l'Église et l'État. Néanmoins, de nombreux jours fériés et traditions en France ont une origine catholique. Et l'une des fêtes catholiques les plus importantes est Pâques. Le lundi de Pâques est d'ailleurs un jour férié. Dans cette leçon, nous allons apprendre comment les Français célèbrent Pâques. Savez-vous ce que mangent généralement les Français pour Pâques? Et attention, je ne parle pas des œufs en chocolat. Nous allons vous montrer la réponse à la fin de cette vidéo. À l'origine, Pâques commémore la résurrection de Jésus-Christ et marque la fin du carême pour les catholiques. Le carême est une période de jeûne de 40 jours en référence aux 40 jours de jeûne effectués par Jésus-Christ dans le désert. La date de Pâques est variable. Elle doit tomber un dimanche, compris entre le 22 mars et le 25 avril. Le lundi qui suit ce dimanche est férié et est appelé le lundi de Pâques. Beaucoup de Français célèbrent cette fête, même s'ils ne sont pas catholiques ou non-croyants. Les Français fêtent Pâques en famille. Le dimanche, les adultes cachent des œufs dans le jardin ou la maison et les enfants doivent les chercher. Ce sont de vrais œufs de poule, vidés et décorés, ou alors ils sont en chocolat. Traditionnellement, on offrait des œufs à Pâques car durant le carême, on ne pouvait pas en manger. Mais les poules continuaient à pondre des œufs. Une fois le carême passé, on offrait alors ces œufs en trop à des amis, à des voisins. Aujourd'hui, on n'offre pas uniquement des œufs. En effet, les chocolatiers proposent par exemple des chocolats en forme de lapin, de cloche, de poisson. Le choix est varié. En France, on raconte aux jeunes enfants que ce sont les cloches qui apportent les œufs de Pâques. Car la tradition veut que les cloches des églises sonnent chaque jour de l'année, mais au moment de Pâques, elles sont silencieuses du jeudi au samedi. Elles résonnent le dimanche de Pâques et apportent aux enfants les chocolats. Par contre, en Alsace, on dit aux enfants que c'est le lapin de Pâques qui délivre les chocolats. Connaissez-vous le 1er avril? C'est un jour où l'on fait des farces aux autres. On colle un poisson en papier dans le dos d'une personne. C'est pour cela qu'à Pâques, on peut déguster des poissons en chocolat en référence au poisson d'avril. Et maintenant, je vais vous donner la réponse du quiz vu plus tôt. À Pâques, les Français cuisinent traditionnellement un agneau. La recette s'appelle agneau pascal, car pour les chrétiens, l'agneau symbolise le Christ ressuscité. Durant cette période, les bouchers et supermarchés font de la publicité afin de vendre la viande d'agneau. Comment était cette leçon? Avez-vous appris des choses intéressantes? Dans votre pays, existe-t-il la chasse aux œufs de Pâques? Est-ce que le lapin ou les cloches apportent les œufs? Laissez-nous un commentaire sur frenchpod101.com et à très bientôt!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is, can busy people actually learn a language? You yourself probably have an answer to this question, right? But whether you can or can't actually has a bit more to do with your mindset than anything else. And in this guide, you'll discover, 1, is it possible for busy people to learn a language and the mindset needed? 2, mental bandwidth, the one thing that can make or break your language goals. And 3, 5 mindset tricks to make time for language. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Talking Online PDF cheat sheet. Learn the must-know internet slang and all the internet-related vocab and phrases in your target language with this PDF cheat sheet. And second, the 40 words and phrases for ordering food writing workbook. With this free resource, you'll pick up must-know words and phrases for the restaurant and practice writing them out as well. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Can busy people actually learn a language? Part 1. Is it possible for busy people to learn a language and the mindset needed? So, can busy people actually learn a language? What do you think? Leave us a comment and let us know. As much as we want to say yes, it's more of a yes or no depending on the person. Why yes? Yes, because many of our members are busy and are learning with our system. And some of you who are watching also fall into this camp. But it also depends on the person because it's more of a mindset thing. Either you think you have time or you don't. For example, many of our members fall into the group of can learn and can find the time, even if they're busy. If you're busy and still want to learn, if you look around, you can always find 5 or 10 minutes a day, like on a commute. Now, if your mindset is the opposite, if you think you can't learn a language or you don't have time, you won't even try, even if you had a resource that was proven to work. Part 2. Mental bandwidth, the one thing that can make or break your language goals. And if you think about it, if you had all the time in the world but felt like you couldn't learn a language, you wouldn't try either. Again, this is why it comes down to the mindset and why it all depends on each individual person. Either you think you can or you think you can't. But it may not always be this black and white either. It can also depend on your mental bandwidth too. Think back to your school days, those few days before exams. It got really busy and you had to stop everything to study, right? You were probably thinking, if I can just get through studying this week and take the test, then next week I can finally start relaxing and doing other things. And if someone asked you if you wanted to hang out, you would say no, because you're busy. But chances are you still managed to spend at least 30 minutes on YouTube or social media. Meaning you did have some time, even if you were busy. but the test was occupying your mind and taking up all that bandwidth. So it's also possible that we just don't have the mental bandwidth because we're overwhelmed. And this is a genuine reason for not being able to learn when you're busy. Don't worry, in the next part, we'll show you how to get some bandwidth so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Part 3. 5 mindset tricks to make time for language. So if you've gotten this far, you understand that it is possible to start learning a language, even if you're busy, that you can find the time, but it mostly comes down to your mindset. So how can you develop the mindset? So when you're too busy, it feels like you're overwhelmed and like you don't have control of your time. Well, there are a few things you can do to gain some control of your time, have some breathing room, and learn a bit of language. First, always set small, measurable goals. This is something that we talk a lot about here. For example, learn for 10, 15, or 20 minutes every day. Learn 100 words in 1 month, which means learning 3 to 4 words a day. And the mindset behind this is just being realistic with your goals and what you can do. Because if you're busy, you may not have 1 or 2 hours. And this is a strict rule, especially when starting out with new goals and languages. Always stick to small, measurable goals. Second, lowering your goals and expectations is okay when things get super busy. If you couldn't learn all 100 words for the month and only got up to 40 or 60, that's okay. If you tried learning on Monday and Tuesday but skipped Wednesday and Thursday, that's okay. Sometimes you have to shift priorities, and prioritizing things is a secret to a successful life. You may not get to the goal you wanted to achieve today, but you can get to it next week. Third, it's okay to put language on pause if life gets in the way. Just like with that last point, you can always come back and reach your goal a little later. We often see learners put language on pause, come back later. Some even come back years later. But the key is to come back. Fourth, avoid the all-or-nothing mindset at all costs. And an all-or-nothing mindset is something you'll see in beginners and perfectionists. When you have this mindset, you'll say, language learning requires hours, so there's no point in learning for a few minutes today. But something is better than nothing, and even 5 to 10 minutes of review adds up in the grand scheme. And in the grand scheme, it's more important to be consistent, even if it's just for a minute a day, rather than study for hours once a week. The brain just doesn't work that way. Fifth, do you have a slowdown or relaxing routine that you do on the weekends or whenever you have free time? And if you didn't do it, you'd feel overwhelmed? Leave us a comment and let us know what it is. For some, it could be reading, watching TV, or going to a cafe and doing nothing for a bit. You're there on your own, you don't have much to do in front of you, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're settled, you start feeling in control. And that's the point you have some mental bandwidth. You can start doing some time management and plan your week out. You can put in a few minutes of language learning. But if you don't slow down and if you feel overwhelmed, you could have the easiest possible way to learn a language. And you still wouldn't do it. So, back to you. If you were busy, do you think you'd be able to learn a language? Leave us a comment. So, thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Do you record yourself speaking your target language? If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Ingrid. Comme d'autres pays, la France célèbre la fête du travail. Le 1er mai est le seul jour férié obligatoirement chômé et payé en France. Les bus et les métros ne fonctionnent pas et tous les magasins sont fermés. Seuls certains centres indispensables comme les hôpitaux restent ouverts. Ce jour férié est la fête du travail. Dans cette leçon, nous allons apprendre pourquoi et comment les Français célèbrent la fête du travail. Savez-vous comment, autrefois, un jeune homme déclarait sa flamme à la fille qu'il aimait le 1er mai? Nous allons vous montrer la réponse à la fin de cette vidéo. En juin 1889, le congrès de la Deuxième Internationale socialiste est réuni à Paris pour le centenaire de la Révolution française. Il décide de faire du 1er mai un jour de lutte à travers le monde avec pour objectif la journée de travail de 8 heures. Cette date est choisie en hommage au mouvement du 1er mai 1886 de Chicago, lorsqu'une grève est lancée par des syndicats, suivie par 400 000 salariés afin d'obtenir la journée des 8 heures. C'est en 1947 que le 1er mai, en France, devient un jour férié et payé. Sur une proposition de Raymond Lavigne, la Deuxième Internationale socialiste décide de faire de chaque 1er mai une journée de manifestation avec pour objectif la réduction de la journée de travail à 8 heures. Cette revendication a été obtenue, mais la tradition de manifester pour les droits des travailleurs est restée. Chaque année depuis, de grandes manifestations ont lieu dans toute la France lors du 1er mai. Les plus importantes d'entre elles ont lieu à Paris. Les Français manifestent en défilant dans les rues. Ils crient des slogans et portent des pancartes sur lesquelles sont affichées leurs idées politiques. Le 1er mai est également le jour du muguet. Cette coutume a été lancée en 1561 par Catherine de Médicis, lorsque son fils, le jeune roi Charles IX, alors âgé de 10 ans, offrit un brin de muguet aux dames présentes. Cette habitude est restée chez les Français et aujourd'hui, encore, nous achetons et offrons du muguet à nos proches le 1er mai. Il n'est d'ailleurs pas rare, dans les manifestations, de voir des participants défiler avec des brins de muguet attachés à leur boutonnière. Un film français intitulé 1er mai est sorti en 1958. Yves Montand, un célèbre acteur français, incarne le rôle principal. Le film raconte la journée peu ordinaire que vont vivre un père et son fils lors de ce jour férié. Et maintenant, je vais vous donner la réponse du quiz vu plus tôt. Avant que la tradition du muguet existe, il y avait celle de l'arbre de mai. Les jeunes hommes célibataires devaient se rendre en forêt le 30 avril afin de tronçonner un arbre et le déposer devant la porte de la jeune fille qu'ils souhaitaient épouser. Comment était cette leçon ? Avez-vous appris des choses intéressantes ? Dans votre pays, fêtez-vous la fête du travail également ? Avez-vous un jour précis pour manifester ? Laissez-nous un commentaire sur frenchpod101.com et à très bientôt.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is, are you an introvert or an extrovert? And how to speak more of your target language. Since you're learning the language, then you're very much aware of the importance of speaking, which can be easy if you're an extrovert or hard if you're an introvert. So, how can you speak more if you're on the shy side? Keep watching this month's episode. You'll discover who learns faster, extroverts or introverts, why learning a language can help you become more extroverted, and 5 ways to speak more, even if you're an introvert. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Sport and Exercise Conversation Cheat Sheet. Want to talk about fitness in your target language? You'll learn over 50 words and phrases for sports and exercise with this brand new cheat sheet. Second, the 40 words and phrases for ordering food writing workbook. With this free resource, you'll pick up must-know words and phrases for the restaurant and practice writing them out as well. Third, the top 12 April Fool's phrases. Want to be able to say some outrageous phrases in your target language for April Fool's Day? Then you'll want this April Fool's phrase list. Fourth, can you talk about your bones in your target language? Learn how to say words like skull, ribs, spine, and much more with this quick vocab bonus. Fifth, 20 must-know jewelry vocabulary. Do you know how to say earrings or necklace in your target language? If you don't, then this vocab lesson is for you. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? And how to speak more of your target language. Part 1. Do extroverts or introverts learn languages faster? If you've ever wondered whether introverts or extroverts learn the language faster, there have been studies done on this. And as you'd expect, extroverts do have an advantage when it comes to speaking and overall conversational skills. Of course, these studies didn't take into account mistakes you may make, such as grammar, vocab, etc. And introverts? Introverts tend to observe and listen more, and tend to be better listeners. Do you agree with these findings? Leave a comment. So the key takeaway is they each have their own advantages. One has something that the other lacks. And that makes sense, doesn't it? If you speak less, your speaking skills will be weaker. And if you want to just speak a lot, you get good at speaking but miss out on the other skills, like listening and reading. So unfortunately, you can't really say who learns faster based on personality alone, just that each one has their advantages and disadvantages. But personality aside, success with a language will always depend on your attitude towards learning itself and how much time you put in. The person that has a better chance of becoming fluent will always be the one that puts in more time to learn, practice, get feedback, adjust with the feedback, and not so much about whether they're extroverted or introverted. But what if you're an introvert who wants to be able to speak more? Is there a way to become more extroverted? Part 2. How to speak more, even if you're an introvert. There are ways to become more extroverted, at least more than your usual self. How? Well, first, by learning a language. When you learn a language, you have a natural desire to connect with native speakers, even if you're shy. Also, native speakers tend to be very supportive and welcoming when you're trying to learn their language. So even if you're shy, it's kind of hard to stay shy in the long run when the people you speak with are so encouraging. In your native language, even if you know a million ways to start a conversation, you might not try to speak to someone because you're worried about whether you have something clever to say or the timing or some other social aspect. But in another language, where you may only know a few phrases, you're not bogged down by that. You just do the best you can with the few phrases you have. Plus, learning a language alone gives you a chance to reinvent yourself. To learn another language is to acquire another soul, as the quote goes. So, learning a language alone puts you on a path towards becoming more extroverted. But if you want specific tips, here are 5 ways to speak more, even if you're an introvert. Number 1. Learn how to listen like an introvert. How can this help you to speak more? Introverts tend to listen more, and the better listener you become, the better questions you can ask, which results in a more meaningful conversation, which also means more speaking time for you. So you can speak more, even if you consider yourself an introvert, by listening well and asking relevant and pertinent questions. By the way, if you want to learn how to ask questions, then check out our top 25 questions you need to know, where you'll learn all about what to ask and answer regarding the most common conversational questions. Number 2, increase speaking time and confidence through experience. Simply put, the more experiences you have in life or experience with certain topics, the more knowledgeable you become. And as your life or work experiences grow, so will your audience. You'll find people coming to you to talk to you. It could be about business, travel, or just your own life stories. If a conversation is about France, and if you've been to France, the conversation will gravitate towards you. Having all that experience makes things easy for you as an introvert. People will come to you, so you don't have to find them. For a language learner, the tricks are to 1. Be knowledgeable about something, and 2. Be able to talk about your experience in the target language. Number 3. Find the right audience. Imagine talking to someone that's not interested in learning languages. They'll give you 100 reasons why they can't learn, never reasons why it might work out for them, right? But when you're talking to an audience that's interested in languages, then you can have a conversation that could go on for hours. So find the right audience to share with. With language learning, it means you need to find native speakers that share the same hobbies or interests as you. Number 4, talk about what you know best. The introvert-extrovert dynamic also depends on how much you know about a topic and what you're most comfortable with. There are topics you may not know enough about, so you won't talk as much. But even the biggest introvert can become a confident speaker once you touch upon a topic they know well. That's where they shine. So if your goal is to be more extroverted, then focus on the things you know about. Or you can always gain experience in topics you don't know much about so you can speak more. Number 5, create opportunities to speak. How? Well, it's hard to stop a stranger and start talking with them without any context, right? But what if you need help finding something at a store, or have a question about a dish at a restaurant? Then it's much easier since you're there with a purpose. So you can create these opportunities by going to a restaurant from the country that speaks your target language and speaking with the staff, or asking a taxi driver a question, or asking staff at an information booth a question. So to recap, if you want to speak more, even if you're an introvert, 1. Listen like an introvert. 2. Increase speaking time and confidence through experience. 3. Find the right audience. 4. Talk about what you know best. And 5. Create opportunities to speak. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about how tipping points will bring you closer to your language goals. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Ingrid. Connaissez-vous les crêpes? C'est un dessert composé d'une très fine couche de pâte faite avec de la farine. On y ajoute des aliments salés ou sucrés pour la déguster. 40 jours après Noël, les Français célèbrent la Chandeleur, comme d'autres pays tels que la Suisse ou la Belgique. Le 2 février, tous les Français sont donc à leur fourneau car ils doivent cuisiner. Dans cette leçon, nous allons apprendre comment les Français célèbrent la Chandeleur. Savez-vous ce que tiennent dans leurs mains les Français lorsqu'ils font sauter une crêpe? Nous allons vous montrer la réponse à la fin de cette vidéo. La fête de la Chandeleur remonte à l'époque des Romains. Ils fêtaient le dieu Pan en agitant des flambeaux toute la nuit. En 472, le pape Gélas Ier décida de christianiser cette fête. Les croyants célébraient ainsi Jésus en allumant des chandelles. Le mot chandeleur vient donc de chandelle et symbolise la lumière. Mais pourquoi cuisine-t-on des crêpes ce jour en particulier? À cette époque de l'année, les semailles d'hiver commençaient. Les paysans utilisaient donc la farine en trop pour confectionner des crêpes. De plus, avec leur forme ronde et leur couleur dorée, elles rappellent le soleil. Aujourd'hui encore, cette fête est très suivie par les Français, mais plus par habitude que par motivation religieuse. Quelques semaines avant, les Français peuvent voir des publicités pour les pâtes à crêpes dans les magazines ou à la télévision. C'est une fête que les Français célèbrent en famille lorsqu'ils ont de jeunes enfants ou entre amis. Si l'on utilise une poêle, il faut retourner la crêpe sans la faire tomber. Sinon, cela porte malheur. Les crêpes françaises sont généralement consommées chaudes, sucrées ou salées. Il existe 2 sortes de pâtes, au froment pour les garnitures sucrées et au sarrasin pour les salées. Les crêpes Suzette sont un grand classique de la cuisine française inventé par Auguste Escoffier. Elles sont préparées avec du beurre fondu et mélangées avec du sucre, du grand marnier, de l'orange et du citron. Elles peuvent ensuite être flambées au grand marnier. Les crêpes bretonnes sont également célèbres dans toute la France. Si vous allez en Bretagne, vous devez goûter cette spécialité culinaire. On dit qu'il faut mettre la première crêpe réalisée en haut d'une armoire, car elle ne moisirait pas. Elle éloignerait ainsi la misère et la privation. Et maintenant, je vais vous donner la réponse du quiz vu plus tôt. Lorsqu'ils font sauter leurs crêpes, les Français tiennent dans leurs mains une pièce de monnaie. Traditionnellement, c'était un louis d'or. Si la crêpe retombe correctement dans la poêle, cela garantit la prospérité toute l'année. Comment était cette leçon? Avez-vous appris des choses intéressantes? Et vous, Fêtez-vous la Chandeleur? Laissez-nous un commentaire sur frenchpod101.com et à très bientôt!
Imagine you're at a restaurant in France. What do you do? Bonjour, je suis Candice. Candice here. Anyone can learn how to order food at a restaurant. In this lesson, you'll learn how. Mark, Karen, Marcel and his wife are at a restaurant in France. Let's watch.
Vous avez choisi?
Je vais prendre un steak frit.
Moi, une ratatouille.
Moi, le poisson du jour.
Pour moi, juste une salade, s'il vous plaît.
Et comme boisson?
Une bouteille de vin blanc, s'il vous plaît.
Ce sera tout?
Oui, merci.
Now with English.
Vous avez choisi?
Je vais prendre un steak frit.
Moi, une ratatouille.
Moi, le poisson du jour.
Pour moi, juste une salade, s'il vous plaît.
Et comme boisson?
Une bouteille de vin blanc, s'il vous plaît.
Ce sera tout?
Oui, merci.
Here are the key words from the scene.
Ratatouille. Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Ratatouille. Ratatouille. Poisson. Poisson.
Fish.
Poisson. 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 Steak frites. Steak frites.
Steak and fries.
Steak frites. Steak frites. Steak frites. Salade. Salade.
Salad.
Salade. 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 Vin blanc. Vin blanc.
White wine.
Vin blanc. Vin blanc. Vin blanc. Boisson. Boisson.
Drink.
Boisson. Boisson. Boisson.
And now, a breakdown of some of the French you heard in the scene.
In the scene, how does Marcel ask for his order?
Je vais prendre un steak frit.
Je vais prendre. Je vais prendre.
I will take. The word
Je
is the pronoun I, and the word
vais
is the conjugated form of the verb
aller.
to go. In this case, it is in the future, so it means will. The last word is
Prendre.
take. This phrase is not only used in restaurants, but in bakeries, butcher shops, anywhere food is sold. To be polite, make sure to add
S'il vous plaît.
please at the end. If you want to ask for today's special at a restaurant, you can say,
Je vais prendre le plat du jour, s'il vous plaît.
I will take today's special, please. Now you try. Say Marcel's line.
Vous avez choisi?
Je vais prendre un steak frit.
How did the waiter ask if the group had finished ordering?
Ce sera tout?
Ce sera tout? Ce sera tout?
Will that be all? The word
Ce
is literally this, and the word
sera
is the conjugated form of the verb
être.
to be. In the future, it becomes will. And finally, the word
Tout. is all or everything. This is a polite expression normally used by waiters to ask if their customer's order is complete. Now you try. Say the waiter's line.
Une bouteille de vin blanc, s'il vous plaît.
Ce sera tout?
Now, the listen focus. Here's how to order food at a restaurant in France.
Some places are really popular, especially in the big cities. That's why it's a good idea to make a reservation. If you get on the waiting list, there is a chance someone might cancel and you can get in at the last minute. Reservations are usually made over the phone. Just tell their staff what day, time, and how many people will be in your party. If you feel a little uncomfortable speaking French, you can ask,
Parlez-vous anglais?
Do you speak English? Most places have staff that speak a little bit. If you are still worried, many places take reservations online or even by fax. Here is how to order food at a restaurant in France. The most important thing to remember is to be polite. It's a good idea to say,
Bonjour, s'il vous plaît, and je vous remercie.
hello, please, and thank you. When you are deciding what to order and want to know what the daily special is, you can say,
Quel est le plat du jour?
what is today's special? Or if you want the waiter or waitress's recommendation, you can ask,
Que recommandez-vous?
what do you recommend? Most places have plenty of options for vegetarians and vegans too, so don't worry if you have certain dietary restrictions. If everything looks great and you still don't know what to order, you can say,
Je n'ai pas encore choisi.
I haven't decided yet. And they'll give you a few more minutes. When you have finally decided, you can use the phrase,
Je vais prendre, s'il vous plaît.
I will take, and add what you would like to order before the words.
S'il vous plaît.
After giving your order, your waiter might ask you,
Ce sera tout?
will that be all? So make sure to listen for it. Usually, French waiters and waitresses are really polite and will not interrupt you when you're having dinner. Therefore, if you're ready to get the check, you have to get their attention. Simply say,
Excusez-moi, l'addition, s'il vous plaît.
excuse me, the bill please. Most restaurants in France have a service charge, but the good news is, tipping is more of a courtesy. It is not required and it's not considered rude if you don't tip. If you really liked the service and would like to give the waiter or waitress something, the average is 5 or 10% of the bill.
Now, it's time to practice your new ability.
You're at a restaurant in France. Ready? Here we go. How do you ask what the daily special is in French?
Quel est le plat du jour?
How do you ask for the waiter or waitress's recommendation?
Que recommandez-vous?
How will you tell the waiter or waitress what you want to order at a restaurant in France?
Je vais prendre.
How do you get the waiter or waitress's attention when you're ready for the bill?
Excusez-moi, l'addition, s'il vous plaît.
Great job!
Quel est le plat du jour? Que recommandez-vous? Je vais prendre. Excusez-moi, l'addition, s'il vous plaît.
Bon travail! Now, watch the scene one more time. After that, you're ready to order at a restaurant in France. Have a good time. À la prochaine!
Vous avez choisi?
Je vais prendre un steak frit.
Moi, une ratatouille.
Moi, le poisson du jour.
Pour moi, juste une salade, s'il vous plaît.
Et comme boisson?
Une bouteille de vin blanc, s'il vous plaît.
Ce sera tout?
Oui, merci.
expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free French ebook before it's gone.